Alright, we always want to start our alignment by measuring thrust angle. For our thrust angle, we need to start with the first rear axle. We're going to come over here, find something we can hook our string to. I got a bolt on the back side of this. Got my string hook there. Gonna wrap it around to the center of the wheel. Got it centered. Now I'm gonna come down to the front of the truck. Run it down to here. Need a tape measure. Alright, now I'm going to pull this string in until it hits the sidewall. Right where it hits the sidewall of the rear tire. If I wiggle it a little bit and then pull tight, at the point that it stops wiggling is usually when you've hit your sidewall. We got 1 inch on this side. You want to measure from this dust cap of the wheel bearing. It's the most accurate because if your wheels are slightly turned left or right, you still have an accurate reading. We got 1 inch on this side. We're going to go over to the other side. Like we're about right about at 1 inch. We got 1 inch on both sides, so that would mean our thrust angle is 0. With a 0 thrust angle, our truck should be going straight down the road like it should. To adjust thrust angle, we would loosen the nut on this shackle, back the bolt out enough where we can slide one of these shims in. There's one already in here. It's kind of bent on the outside, but we slide as many of those in as we need to correct our thrust angle. The same method applies to tram. So if we go over in between the two drives, you can see a shim right there too, so adjust that the same as you would thrust angle. Alright, now I'm going to be measuring tram, which is the thrust of the rear axle. So since I've already centered my front axle, all I have to do is match the rear to the front. So to do that, measure the entire length of the tire. 40 inches. Now, measure exactly half of 40. Right here, 20. Make a chalk mark right there. Come to this tire. Measure 20 again to match our other. Alright, now we got our chalk mark. Go to the rim. Try not to kink the tape. Looks like we got 27 3/4. Now we're going to go to the other side. Measure 20 from the bottom. This time we've got 27 3/4 as well. So that's exactly what we wanted. Our tram is correct. Now we're going to be measuring our offset. So what we're measuring is the center of the axle. So we're making sure that the distance between the frame and the wheel is the same on both sides, so that our axle is sitting in the truck in center. If it's not centered, it would throw off our thrust angle. So to measure this, we need a straight edge up against the edge of the tire. Measure from the frame rail to the straight edge. I'm going to raise mine up so I can reach it. Looks like 31 inches. Or, yeah, 31 inches. Now I'm going to go over to the other side of the truck. I've got 31.5 inches. So we're about a ½ inch off center. To measure camber and caster, we're going to be using a digital protractor. For camber, we're going to set it on the ground and zero it out. Zero button. So now it's zeroed with the flat surface of the ground. Now we're gonna set it on the surface of the wheel. It's reading 89.9 down. So I'm going to make sure which way the wheel is leaning by tilting the protractor this way. So it is leaning this way. That means we have negative camber. I can tell by which way the arrow is pointing when I lean it towards the negative side and then the positive side. It's pointing negative. So we've got 0.1 degree camber. For caster, I'm gonna set the protractor on the frame rail. Zero it. Alright, it's now zeroed. Now I'm going to set the protractor right here on the frame. I've got a negative, positive. We've got positive 1.1 caster on this side. So you would just repeat the process on the other side of the vehicle. To measure toe of the front wheels, you just use a tape measure, mark a line down the center of the tread of the tire, a straight line all the way around. I'm going to have somebody hold the tape measure like this on the center of the line on the other side while I match that up to my measurement on this side. Looks like I've got 81 inches on this side. to the other side of the tire. 81.25. So we are towed in. We're towed in about a 1/4 inch. To adjust tow, we're gonna adjust our cross tube. So you just loosen this clamp and turn it whichever way it needs to go to tow the wheels in or out. So since we had a longer measurement on the back side of the wheel than the front, we are towed in and need to adjust our tow outward.